Thank you very much to Ian and Mark, from one loser to another two. I'm going to invite Gordon and Pirie to please respond to the provocations offered.
Thanks so much. Good evening, everybody. Pick up on a few of those themes, and perhaps to end with Mark's provocation about spatial justice, which I'll come back to. I'm thinking about other ways of arriving at spatial justice. And I wanted to start by reflecting on a presentation I saw recently of new megacities planned for Africa, which seemed to me to be the excesses of Dubai transported onto our continent, and to be things that we might want to avoid, make sure that we do not go down that route. Cities that seem to be sterile, that are exported, that are colossal, that are well, spiritually rather arid. It seems to me that the challenge for us is to reach a different kind of urban formation. And I'm thinking here of cities which you might call inspirational, or cities which address values that all of us hold. So we start off at the soft, touchy-feely end of urbanism and have in mind designing cities that bring out the human good in all of us, and that are just, and that are fair, and that are wonderful places for all of us as individuals to express ourselves, to reach fulfillment, to have fun in, to be inspired by and enjoy. Those seem to me to be wonderful kinds of aims for the designers and the architects, to design spaces and buildings and activities that really do talk to us and our essential humanity. A second kind of city, of course, which is being thrust onto us is the city which we might chronicle or catalogue as the green city. One which works with nature rather than against nature, one which uses those resources with tremendous care and shepherds the future and holds the future by respecting nature and respecting the sanctity and the scarcity of resources. These are wonderful, wonderful ideals. I have no idea how we arrive at cities which are both inspirational and green, but it brings me to the third point which I want to raise, and that is that perhaps thinking about a third kind of city, which is a rather more boring entity, might be the way of beginning to reach these very high ideals of urbanism and urban design. If we think for a moment of the efficient city, the one that really works well, the one in which resources that are scarce are used to their very, very best, where there's limited waste. I'm wondering if that kind of urban formation, which perhaps is the easiest to design and perhaps not the sexiest, nevertheless is a way of beginning to reach into these higher ideals. An example I want to give to you this evening is a city where mobility and accessibility are privileged, where people can move around and reach spaces where they can get to education, where they can buy goods cheaply, to healthcare facilities, where they can participate in civil society by casting their votes easily, where they can come to events like this and be inspired. It seems to me that if we can crack the nut of accessibility and mobility that is decent, that is dignified, that is inexpensive and efficient, we're on the way to realizing some other kind of dreams. And a final point in this regard, I'm wondering whether we can think about and persuade authorities to present to us or to provide to us transportation, public transportation, that is part of a national asset, that is not run as a business. It is run as something whose dividends will be realized in a whole variety of social and psychological and spiritual spheres. That's where the gain is going to be. Free, low-cost public transportation, it seems to me terribly boring as it is, might bring us out to a society and a city that is just, that is socially glued together, that is effective, that is fun, that is green.